Okay, welcome back to another video. This is another video for my peer secondary school students. This is actually for one of my Sec 4 classes that I actually messed up the entire question because it was so chaotic, but there was no excuse. Okay, I wasn't prepared at all as well, so I made a lot of careless mistakes. So I thought I'd make it up to that student who genuinely wanted to learn and actually do a proper video to explain to him how to do this question and maybe even explain to him where I got wrong. Okay, and this is mainly for the class, that class who kept calling me Mr. Chat. Okay, C-H-A-D, Mr. Chat. So if those of you who knows what it means, yeah. Anyway, so let's start from part A. The part that I messed up is from C part 1, part 2 onwards because of the fact that there was a lack of time and the bell was ringing, there was a teacher outside, I had to go and everything. So this question will be done in different parts, the video will be done in different parts, there will be intervals for you to rest and look at the question again. Okay, so this part of the video is for part A. Let's get started. Now this question is on coordinate geometry, 2021 N-level E-Math, paper 2, question 7. Okay, so a typical coordinate geometry question usually have the axis drawn for you, okay, and then you can always label the points given to you. So A is 2, 9, you can see that this is 2 and y coordinate is 9, so you can write it down, 2, 9, and then B is 10, 5. Okay, that's always a good approach to have for your N levels. Okay, label down all your points so it's easier to see. So what's next? I need to find the equation of line AB. Now if you recall what I said in class, to find equation of a line, you always need to find two things. Firstly, you know that equation of a line follows the equation of y equals to mx plus c. And the two main unknowns are your m and your c, where your m is your gradient. Okay, so someone that day asked me what m means. Okay, it's your gradient. And then your c is your y-intercept. So very often, what I like to do is I find my gradient first, then I find my y-intercept. Okay, so how to find my gradient? As some of you rightly pointed out, okay, gradient. So let me shift this down here. Okay, gradient, the formula is given by y equals to x, sorry, not x, but y 2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So all I need to do right now is refer to my points. Okay, it's 2, 9, 10, 5. Okay, so I need to be consistent. What do I mean? If I let my b of 10, 5 be my 2, meaning my coordinate of 2, y2 and x2, then I must follow accordingly. So let's say if I do this right now, so equals to, okay, you can see that it's 10, 5. So I sub in 5 as my y coordinate first, then my x coordinate is 10. Okay, then minus, you just copying the formula, then I go to my other point, which is a 2, 9. So follow 9 and 2. From here, I should be able to get that my answer is actually just negative 4 over 8, which is half, negative. And now I have my gradient. Now, after finding my gradient, I need to find my y-intercept, as I told you just now. Okay, so now I have my equation, mainly being y equals to negative half x plus c. So that day what I did was I sub in the point of 2, 9. Then your friend asked me, how about what if I do the other point? I sub in b instead. Doesn't matter, you can sub in b. Basically just pick any point that lies on the line. So now let's say I follow your friend's method, I sub in b. So sub b, which is 10, 5, meaning you sub in the x coordinate as 10, the y coordinate as 5. So now that my y is equals to 10, 10 is equals to negative half. Oh, sorry, not 10. Okay, my mistake. Okay, my y is actually 5. Okay, then my x is my 10. So negative half times 10 plus c. So now I only have my c as my unknown. Basically, this is gonna be c equals to 5 plus 5. I shift the negative half times 10 over equals to 10, and therefore my equation is y equals to negative half x plus 10. And this is my equation of the line AB. Okay, so let's take a short break here. I'll see you in the next part. Okay, welcome back. This is your favorite Mr. Chat speaking. So now we're gonna do part B. Okay, so M is the midpoint between A and B. Basically, this is your midpoint formula. I recall during class one of your friends suggested, why not we just measure A, B, then we just find the middle. Okay, that can work, assuming that it's drawn to scale. In this case, it is to scale because there's a graph being plotted, but that's not sustainable. Ultimately, to find the midpoint, you just need to use the formula. Okay, just understand that your midpoint is basically the average between 2 points. So if let's say your friend and you're talking about the average between the two of you, the height, you naturally tell me that you take his height plus your height, add together, divided by 2. And therefore it's the same idea, right? Where my coordinate of M, okay, so let's go down here. My coordinate of M is equals to x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2, the law of average. Okay, so going back to my question, is 2, 9, 10, 5. So I just need to write down 2, 9, so 2 plus 10, because I take the x coordinates, divided by 2, comma, and now I take the y coordinates, which is 9 plus 5 over 2. And from here, you can just do some simple calculation. You should get 6, 7 as your answer. Okay, so that's basically your midpoint. You can more or less tell that it's quite accurate, because if I say 6, 7, it should be 6 and 7 right here. Okay, but let's not dirty the diagram. I still want to use it for other purposes. Okay, so that's a midpoint. Next, you actually want to find the length AM. Okay, length. Alright, so again, there's a formula to be applied here if you talk about your length. Okay, length AM is basically, you can write this modulus. Okay, the formula is simply x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square. This is just Pythagoras formula, okay, your Pythagoras theorem. Okay, I don't have time to explain to you how it works, but basically you can take it as it is, because you're going to take your exams anyway. Okay, now I just need to submit my value, square root. Okay, A is 2 minus my M, which is 6, okay, 6 square plus what's my other point, which is 9 minus, okay, 7 square equals to square root of 16 plus 4, which is just square root 20. Now if I recall the answer correctly, okay, it's basically just 4 point something. Okay, if not, if I leave it in exact values, it's actually 2 square root 5, but that's not required of you. Okay, so let me just grab my phone very quickly, calculate for you what square root 20. Square root 20. Okay, so the value is 4.472136. Okay, but you know that when your answer is not precise, it's on the front page of your instructions, you need to round off to 3SF. So 4.473SF. And this is your answer for B part 2. Okay, now again, because this is a long question, I'm gonna give you time to digest all the information right here. Have a good look. Okay, you can always pause the video, have a look, try the question again on your own, then come back and continue watching this. Okay, so the next part will be C part 1, part 2. I'm going to change the orientation of the question. I want to do a portrait, so I can post it on TikTok in case your friend is only concerned with C part 1 or part 2, so you can watch it in a very short manner. Alright, so we'll take a break here. I'll see you in a while. Okay, last part of the question, the part where I fucked up essentially. Okay, so ABCD is a rhombus, C is the point, 3, 1. So let's go to the diagram. Okay, 3, 1 is right here. Okay, this is point C, 3, 1. Then what did they say? ABCD is a rhombus, find the corners of D. So one of your friends suggested that we just draw how do I say, on the diagram, then you can more or less predict that maybe D is somewhere up here. Okay, just measure the length and whatnot. Now, that is not a very sustainable way. Okay, now in A math, E math, there are many ways to solve for D. Okay, but because this question is 1 mark, that's why I'm a bit taken aback. Okay, I don't think I could do this in 1 mark, apart from using the method that I tried to teach you, but at the same time, I messed up because of careless mistakes and flipping here and there. Okay, so I'm going to show you my method again before I suggest to you the other method that most students would do. Okay, so my method is essentially, because I know there is a rhombus, this line over here, AC, should be of equal length to AD. That means if I take the coordinates, the difference of the coordinates between A and C, and the difference of coordinates between B and D, they should be equal. And that was my point. Now, let's remove these two lines first. Okay, so what can I use to calculate the difference between 2 points? One way is I use my gradient, because ultimately my gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where this difference is the same in a rhombus. So I can first find my gradient of AC. So gradient of AC, if you recall, okay, just apply a formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So just put in the values, y2 is 9, letting my A be the y2, then I over, okay, 2 minus away the other set of coordinates, which is 1 over 3. Okay, from here I can evaluate. This is gonna be 8 over negative 1. I'm gonna leave it as this. I'm not gonna simplify. Why? Because I'm not actually trying to find the gradient. I'm trying to find the difference between the coordinates. Okay, now moving on, I can now find my gradient of BD, because if you go back to your rhombus, you're expecting D to be somewhere down here. You draw a line. Okay, and in primary school you learned that rhombus, they have a pair of parallel lines. In this context, your AC is parallel to BD. So now I just need to find my gradient of BD, or rather the difference between the two coordinates. So let's use a different marker. So M, B, D equals to, okay, now because I do not have my D coordinates, I can let it be X and Y. So I can write it here. Okay, D, comma, X, comma, Y. Okay, so BD, what's my B? So I take my D first, Y over X. What's my corner of D? It's basically, sorry, not corners of D, but corners of B is 10, 5. So my Y coordinates first, then my X coordinate. Now, because they are parallel, okay, and this is my point the other day, because of the fact that they are parallel, I can say that M BD equals to M AC. Okay, so now I can say that Y minus 5 equal over X minus 10 equals to 8 over negative 1. Then the student who was very confused and got my Instagram, he asked me, do I do cross multiply here? No, again, this is not about cross multiplying. Okay, what I'm trying to say here is the difference between the y coordinates in your BD should be equal to the difference between the y coordinates in your line AC, which is 8. So I'm just going to equate my numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. Now I don't know what happened that day, but I messed up massively because I made a lot of careless mistakes. But my answer is definitely correct. What do I mean? I remember the answer was something like 9,13, right? But I got something else. I think it was 11,3. Messed up somewhere. Don't remember where. Maybe if you still have the paper, you'll find out where. Okay, so let's solve it right now. I can say that y minus 5 equals to 8, y equals to 13. Then what's next? X minus 10 equals to negative 1, x equals to 9. And therefore, I can say that D is essentially 9,13. Okay, my method is not wrong, for sure. I've done this many times. But at the same time, this method is hardly used by any students because very often they just use it in the wrong way. Okay, but if I look at this question, they say find the coordinates of D and it's only 1 mark. Usually should be 2 marks minimally. Okay, so to solve it fast, even if you use my method, you look at the number of steps, it's not actually very fast. It does take some time. Okay, and you eventually get the answer. And therefore, maybe your friend is right. Maybe you should have just go to your diagram, just try to predict where D is based on the length and the, just take a set square, draw a line AC, then just shift over parallel, same length, then you can find a point D. But I don't think that's what we want in math, at least in the national exams. But it seems like the most viable way over here. Okay, so I hope this clears up any misunderstanding. Okay, I hope you finally get this question because I actually see in your eyes that you actually care about how to do this question, and therefore I felt obligated to actually try this question again to make sure that you actually understand. Okay, so if this is all you wanted to know, the answer is right here. Okay, you can have a look again, try to understand, replay the video, whatever it is. Okay, if you don't have any question, if you have any question for me, just drop me a message on Instagram or TikTok. If not, this is Mr. Chat from VANTAGE Tutor, a class above the rest. Take care. Okay, last part of the video. Okay, so after solving for corners of D, okay, which is what one of your classmates from the Sec 4 asked, now we are asked to find the area of the rhombus. Now, for the sake of completion, I already drew in the rhombus in the diagram. Okay, if you compare this image to the previous one from the third part, C part 1, when I tried to find the corners of D, you realize that the corners of C actually marked it wrong. So I rectified it already. Okay, but it's not gonna change my answer in the previous part of the video because ultimately I use calculation, not drawing to find. Okay, so now I need to calculate the area of the rhombus. Okay, I need to find the area. Now, you learned this in primary school, right? Rhombus means that it's essentially a square squished to one side. So actually all 4 sides are equal. This equals to this, equals to this, equals to this, equals to this. More importantly, if I were to draw a straight line from M all the way to C, this should form a 90 degree. Now, can you see that this rhombus is actually formed by 4 right angle triangles? Okay, because of that, all I need to do is I just need to find area of one right angle triangle. Okay, I just need to find one of them, and then I multiply by 4. Then I'll get the entire area. Okay, so how do I find the area of one right angle triangle first? You learned it in primary school. Half times base times your perpendicular height. Now, making use of the information that we had just now, AM is 4.472136. That means essentially from here to here. Okay, so I just highlighted MB, but I know that MB is going to be equals to AM because M is the midpoint. From here to here is actually 4.47, around there. Okay, so to find the area, I just need to find the perpendicular height highlighted in yellow, which is cm. Okay, so let's try to find cm right now. So cm, let's do it right here. Okay, so cm equals to square root of, again apply your formula, x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square, where now I'm taking the coordinates of c and m. So referring to a diagram, you can see that your c is 3 minus 6 square plus square root say 3 minus 6, 1 minus 7 square, and square root the whole thing again. So essentially this is just 9 plus 36. So this is square root 45 again. If you want, you can straight away press a calculator. But if you do A math and whatnot, you realize that we usually prefer the exact value. But for completion's sake, let's do it. So how do I create this? Square root 45 equals to 6.7082. Okay, so now moving on, I want to find the area. So area of rhombus equals to, you want to take 4 times of your area of triangle, CMB. So as you know, triangle is half times base. In this case, my base, let's go back to my question. Okay, my base is my MB, okay, which is actually my AM as well, which is 4.47. Of course, I'm gonna take more decimal places, because if you take the 3SF one, your answer will be a bit off really. Then multiply by my CM. So let's go back down here. So just now we found that CM is 6.7082. Multiply by my previous answer in B part 2, 4.47. 2136. Okay, from here I can say that this can cancel out the 2. Then from here I just press the calculator. Okay, multiply by 4.47 2136 times 2. So it's about 60.000, a lot of zeros, which is essentially rounded off 60 cm square. If you want, you can put a 0.0, then it will be 3 SF. And that's your answer. Okay, now I finally finished this question. It took me longer than I should for a lot of reasons, but I'm sorry for the fact that I made so many mistakes during the class. Okay, it's not an excuse that there's chaos and all that, very distracting, but should have done better. And here I am trying to explain to you again, because I saw the genuine look in your eyes that one student who asked me how to do C part 1. I could feel that you were genuinely listening to me. Okay, now I hope that you learned something from this video, because ultimately your N level is coming, and I see that you actually care, but I don't know whether you study on your own, or maybe you just don't have the right guidance. It may have only been 40 minutes of a class, but I hope you actually learned something from me. Okay, so I had a good time teaching your class, even though it was a bit chaotic. But yeah, okay. So if you've got any question, always can drop me a DM, okay, or watch some of my videos, or give me questions that you don't know how to do. I'll take it as material to post on my TikTok or YouTube. Okay, so as you can see, I'm on my road to 1,000 followers on TikTok and 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you like what I'm doing, give me a subscribe or follow. It's gonna help me out a lot. Then I can do a TikTok live or YouTube live where you all can just see me do questions after questions. Alright, so this is Mr. Chat from VANTAGE Tutor, a class above the rest. Take care.